And what I've realized is that, and this is very controversial, and I know people are going to be coming at me in the comments, but you know what, I'm saying it with my chest because I believe this. You men do not want nice women. Because if you wanted nice women, you would all be married by now. You don't like nice women. It's the same with women. How we say we don't like nice guys, we like good guys. You do not like the nice women because you do not like the woman that is, you know, like doing everything for you, catering to you, always making effort with you, always, you know, never making you question her intentions or anything like that. You don't like that woman because if you guys did, you'd be with her because they're out there. The nice women are out there.
No, I take your point, but I mean, do you think that that's all men, or do you think that's a subsection of men who feel that way? Because I mean, you could argue there's probably plenty of guys. There's maybe guys, you know, who are going to watch this later and they go, "Well, I can't even get a date," so you know, I'd be more than happy.
Yeah, of course. I mean, when we speak about this, it's always like the kind of the majority, isn't it? It's like a lot of like I'm just going by some of the men that I speak to, especially on social media. And the vibe really that I'm getting is that they don't want the nice girl, but they want the girl who's got a little bite to her, which is very similar to what women want from men as well.
Yeah.
But they want to be able to kind of not discipline her, but they want to be able to maintain her. So she can't be too crazy because then it's just out of control and it's a headache and deal with that. But they want her to have a little something to her, enough for them to be able to deal with it and tolerate.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely correct. And I was having a similar conversation the other night, actually, because it's kind of like, I think it also depends on the type of guy. There are guys who like very, very submissive women. And I think a lot of those guys, maybe they go to places where it's a lot more traditional, like maybe Southeast Asia or, you know, whatever. And they're looking for a very, very, for me, to be honest, that's not really my vibe. I'm not talking about Southeast Asia. I'm just talking about that very, very submissive type of woman. I just find that a bit, like somebody said it in the comments here, actually. Somebody said, I feel half naked, which is a great name. Says, nice girl doesn't have her own opinions. It's suffocating for long term. I like a more balanced woman. So you're right. Like, I like somebody who's relatively submissive, but who also has a bit of bite and who can also has her own opinions, and she'll push back a little bit, but not, it's you've got to get that balance, haven't you? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's exactly what women want too. So we're actually not that different from each other. We kind of all essentially do want the same things. It's just maybe men's list is probably a little bit shorter than the women's.
Yeah, because we're more, well, we're just geared more sexually, you know. It's just like, okay, right, she's hot.
Yes.
So, you know.
Yes.
So we got a super chat here from Marriage Causes Divorce. Thank you for sending that in. $5 super chat. He says, and this, I was going to ask you this anyway. He says, as a percentage, how many guys are the complete package? So I think what he means by this, when we were talking about, okay, so he has got the money, he has got the looks, he's also got the riz. Like what percentage do you think of dudes are that complete package? And he says, can you learn to be the complete package? What should the remaining women do? Settle or stay single? So there's a couple of questions there, I guess.
Wow, really good questions right there. I'm going to be really realistic and say the percentage is very low at the moment. And I'm going to say like 10%.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean,
you know, it's that low because I mean, I speak to people every day about dating, and you know, I get people speaking to social media, and it's a real problem. A lot of women are unable to find that full package, high value man that they want. It is extremely hard.
Yeah, because I think, and then I don't know whether there's situations where the guy can almost be too controlling. So then it's like, okay, he's not a nice guy, but then he's on the other side of it. He's too domineering and so on. And then that can also then be a turn off ultimately as well.
Absolutely. And, you know, we sort of see with these kind of, I don't know what we want to call them, red pill guys, a lot of these podcast hosts, they have the money, but then they lack the other stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's that definition of charisma, which was, I forget the lady's name who wrote the book, but it's basically, I think it's power, presence, and warmth. Okay, so you've got power, like you've got the steel about you. You've got presence, you know, you're in the moment, you're there, you're with the person. But there's also this thing about warmth as well. And she argues that that's what makes somebody really charismatic. You've kind of got a combination of those three things. And I think sometimes people they've got all power, but if they lack warmth, then that can then ultimately it's like, well, it's not quite the full package either.
Yes, exactly. Because you as a woman, you want him to be, you want the alpha male, you want the man who's respected in front of everyone else, but you also don't want him to be aggressive. You also don't want him to be cocky. You don't want him to be loud. So confidence is silent. It's subtle. It doesn't make noise. And a lot of these men, they get a lot of money. And so now they think, okay, well, I have that label of I'm a high value man because I have all the money, right? But then they're loud with it. They're loud. They're controlling, like you said. That's the ones that the women don't like.
Do you?
So they're pulled out now.
Yeah.
You have to understand. They're now struggling too because the women don't want them.
Well, okay, just pushing into that just a little bit to play devil's advocate. Is that true, or are you just saying that? Are you kind of capping a little bit? Because is it sort of you're saying that because that sounds like the right thing, but actually secretly there are a lot of women who are like, oh, that guy's got that kind of,
I'll change that. So I still believe that, but I'll phrase that differently. So, okay, they want them perhaps in the moment.
Yeah.
Women are opportunists. So when they see a guy like that, okay, they may know that he doesn't have the qualities that they truly want, but in the moment, he has the money, right? So again, it's going back to the whole she'll tolerate you because you have the money. But as soon as the next guy comes along, who, he's also got money, he's also making serious money, but guess what? He's warm. He's warm. He's different. She'll pick him. So it's kind of, yes, they will tolerate the rich ones, but they're very aggressive and controlling and have the downsides to them. And they might even stay with them for quite a while, but they will be placeholders.
Okay.
Because essentially, the way that we think as women, we don't see them as marriage material. Those men, we don't put in the category of commitment and husband. We put them in the category of, okay, this guy wants to fly me out. This guy wants to invite me to like a week holiday. It's kind of, women are opportunists. I'm not saying all, but most of the time, depending on your age, you will come across those kind of men, and he's not particularly a pleasant person, but he has money, and so you tolerate.
Well, I mean, just on that point, I mean, there's a guy in my WhatsApp group, and I hear this a lot, who's obsessed with the idea that in London all women want to be taken out for dinner as a date. Now, I personally don't think that's true because I've been out with plenty of girls and we've gone for coffee or we've gone for a couple of drinks. But like if that were true, I mean, like to what extent will women? Because to me, to be honest, the thought of going for a 90-minute or 2-hour dinner with somebody, and I'm not really attracted to them, and I think they're a bit, they're boring or whatever. That sounds like a bit of a nightmare. Like I'd rather just go to, I'd rather just order in from Deliveroo or something. Do you know what I'm saying? So I suppose the question is, like, what is women's tolerance for, like, for doing things sort of transactionally with guys that maybe they're not attracted to, or there has to be, I don't know if you could speak on that a little bit.
Yes. There's definitely like a lot of women now becoming a lot more transactional. I will say that. But that's because they came across men in the past who did, I don't want to say take advantage, but they were men who perhaps didn't have much to offer. But then the girl was basically giving him the wifey benefits. And so a lot of these women have just become tired of being that woman, but not really getting anything out of it, okay? Because the man didn't want to commit. He was maybe used as a placeholder. So this is a very, very popular thing that's happened to a lot of women. A lot of women have experienced this. So now they've become transactional.
Or also, do you think it's just because it's become more possible now? Because, you've got an Instagram account, people can hit you up, and it's just become much more. And then, of course, you've got things like the sugar dating sites as well, if you want to go a step further. I mean, do you think it's become more of a thing because of technology? It's kind of like made it easier for it to happen in a way.
Definitely technology, social media plays a massive part in all of this. It fuels it, you know, it fuels it because nowadays, as a woman, it's so easy for you to just get access to a man on social media. Just post a really hot selfie and you've got like 70 DMs. You've got like a guy saying, "You out to Miami, I'll do this. Hey, you free for dinner this weekend?" It's very, very easy. So yes, women have become transactional. Women have become because the way they think, their mindset is these men want to use us for our services, I guess you want to call it, and we're not getting anything out of it. So this guy wants to use my energy, he wants me sexually, intimately, all of this stuff, but then he wants to deliver me, you know, say, let's stay at home and do Netflix and chill. So women are not, I want that anymore. They're like, no, if you want this, I need to see what are you bringing to the table and earn it.
No, I get that.